The inner black flame. You have probably heard many other people talking about this in the past, yet so many of us have no clue what the inner black flame or the inner flame really is. A lot of people find themselves confused about this. What is this inner black flame that I speak of? The inner black flame is the source of magic within us, within all of us. It is what fuels magic within each and every human being. And no one is exempt from this. Everyone has this inner fueling fire that drives their magic, what gives you the ability and the power to do magic in the first place. Even the most hardcore religious people have this inner flame. And you can choose to ignore the inner flame, acting as if it does not exist. Those of you that do not practice magic because you see it as something that's dangerous, something that's evil, something that's immoral, or maybe something you're just afraid of, and you're afraid that you won't be able to control it once you start using magic, or that you'll let your desires get the best of you and try to use magic for wrongful purposes. But everyone has this inner black flame, and that is simply what that means. That is the fueling center of your body that all magic comes from. It's there, and it can be awakened in you, and you can feel it. There is a way to let yourself feel this inner flame, which is feeling your inner power, and this exercise will let you know that you do have power. It's there, and it'll let you know exactly how strong it is. Because once you do this, it's going to come rushing through you. You're going to feel heat. You're going to feel energy. You may feel electrical pulsations. You may feel numb. And depending upon how much magic you've done in the past, whether your third eye is open, whether you've meditated and you meditate every day, or you do it on occasion when you think you need to just to catch up, this will have different results for everyone. If you are brand new to this path, you may not feel anything if you have not awakened your third eye, or you may feel something that feels very weak, or it could come on very strong in what feels like a huge rush of energy that surges through you and then immediately tapers off and disappears. And you could literally find yourself trying for weeks on end saying, I cannot get that same effect that I had for the first few seconds when I tried this chant the first time. And that's because you're so new to magic that you really have not strengthened or developed that inner flame. Because it's there, yes, it's within all of us, but it's very weak until you start using magic and you start developing this flame and strengthening it. It's going to forever remain weak. The more you do magic, the stronger it will get. Not only will the strength of the way this feels vary per person, again, depending on your magical experiences, whether you've had experience at all, but that this chant, it will taper off as you grow. So you could start off being someone that has messed around with meditation, messed around with spells in the past. It may feel very strong. Eventually you're going to keep repeating this chant and you're going to feel like it's getting weak and it's tapering off. And it will if you don't keep practicing magic. And even if you do practice magic, it will get to a point where that crazy rush of energy you felt when you first started doing this, it will taper off. It'll still be there, but it won't feel as strong. And that's a good sign. That means that your magic is getting stronger. When you're not used to energy, when you're not used to feeling it, not used to raising it, when you do feel it rush through your body, it feels intense. And as you get used to it, of course, it's going to feel more natural to you, like something that's always been there. So, of course, it will taper off at some point. When that happens, what you want to do is lay off the chant for a while. Give it a break for a couple of weeks, for a couple of months, then come back to it as you've been practicing more spells and rituals, as you've been doing more meditation. As your practice and your abilities grow, then you can come back to this chant, try it again. If you are ascending and you're moving in the right direction, when you try the chant again, eventually you're going to feel that intense rush. And that'll let you know that you have strengthen that flame even further. And you can keep doing that again until it tapers off. Wait a couple of weeks, a couple of months, and come back and try it again. Now, there are other things that you can do once you get to the point where this chant, the energy that you feel, always feels like it's weak or it's somewhere right along the middle, no matter how many times you recite it. Other things that you can add in, but these are things that, unless you have messed around with magic quite a bit and you are used to raising energy and doing energy work, they can make you feel very sick. They can make you feel like you're almost about to faint, lose consciousness, and you can have headaches, sore muscles for 3 or 4 days in a row. Some of you might even actually feel like you're going to get the flu. It just depends on how much experience you have with raising energy. It's very similar to the headaches you get when you first start trying to open your third eye, when you first start learning how to meditate and how to become aware of energy, which is also why I'm not going to share the exact technique that I use now in conjunction with this chant, because I do realize that many of you will go ahead and use it, you'll jump ahead, and then you'll end up feeling sick as a dog from it. Because it's not really something that you're supposed to be messing around with anyway, but I know how to do it safely. Now, as for the chant itself, the chant is safe. Again, all this is going to do is allow you to become aware that you do have magic, that you do have power and energy inside of you. It's going to cause this energy to come rushing up through your body and then back down to your feet. You're going to feel a tingle, maybe even a burning sensation, something strange around your solar plexus area, somewhere around your navel. You're going to start feeling energy building up, and as you continue reciting this chant, you should feel it rush up into your head and then rush back down, all the way back down into your feet. For some of you, it might be the opposite. It might go to your feet first and then back up to your head, but I doubt it. Exactly what you feel when you do this chant, that will vary per each person as well. Some people say that it has raised such strong energy that they felt like they had accidentally evoked an entity into the room with them, and they felt like there was an entity standing there watching them, and they had no clue who it was. All of this black flame stuff seems to have originally stemmed from Satan. Although he is not the only one that has ever mentioned this, there are a lot of spirits that go around telling people about the inner black flame, trying to get people aware of it, but the whole idea of the inner black flame seems to have originated from Satan or someone similar to him. This has been around for a very long time. Maybe not this particular chant, because this was something that I asked Azazel for personally. I asked him to give me something that would allow people that I had been working with, that I was trying to teach, that doubted themselves, give me some sort of chant that I could tell these people so that when they do it, they can at least become aware, even if it's extremely weak because they are new to this path. They can become aware that they do have energy inside of them and that they do have magic. I figured if they could just feel it, if they could feel something by chanting this, having something strange happen to them, they would know that this is real and stop doubting themselves so that they could progress further. And this has helped a whole lot of people realize that there is indeed power inside of them. And the further they progress, the more they do this chant, the stronger it gets. One more thing that I did want to mention before I tell you the chant, because I don't want people rushing ahead, stopping the video, doing the chant without hearing me explain all the warnings and everything that you need to know about this. If you do this chant, if you were born with natural abilities, if you've got any kind of natural psychic gifts, if you have any natural talents for energy work that you just have not discovered yet, or you're someone that has been messing around with magic for quite a few years, there is a chance that this chant could affect you very strongly. And if you find yourself in a situation where you're chanting it, first you need to realize that this chant, it does not hit you right away. It does not come on strongly. This is one of these chants that reminds me of the type of marijuana that sort of creeps up on you when you don't think you're high, then suddenly you stand up and it hits you right in the face and you realize you've smoked too much. This reminds me of what they call a creep buzz. The more you do this chant, it starts off feeling very weak. It feels like nothing's going to happen. Keep chanting it. For some people, you might only have to repeat it 5 or 6 times before you start to feel it. Other people, you might have to really force yourself to believe, drop down into a trance, really tell yourself this is going to work. You might have to recite this 17, 18 times before you start to feel it. This will creep up on you very slow, and it will hit you. That's why when you're first doing this, it's okay If it doesn't feel like it's working, stop, take a break for just a second, quit chanting. You need to look up, look around the room, even stand up, because it might hit you after you stand up or after you start looking around. I've noticed if you do this chant and you're looking down or you've got your eyes closed because you're trying to trance out at the same time, when you open your eyes or stand up, sometimes it will hit you, and then you realize exactly how much this chant has affected you. So it's okay to stop every so often. If you feel like it's not working, it may be, but you're not aware of it because you're not moving around, your eyes are closed, you're not observing your surroundings. So stop and take a look around you. If you start to feel the effects, but it's still not quite powerful enough, keep doing that. And if you find yourself in a situation where it creeps up on you so fast that you really do not realize how much energy you have raised until you stand up and you feel like you've got so much energy rushing through you that you're about to panic, that you feel sick, dizzy, lightheaded, you maybe feel like you're going to faint, sit back down, and there are ways that you can try to expel some of this energy. You can take a magical tool that you have. If you have a wand, you can try to release some of that energy into the wand just to get rid of it. You can even go outside, put your hand on the ground, force your energy down into the earth, give the energy to the earth. That's what a lot of Wiccans do anyway, because they feel like they have to return the energy they've raised, which is not true, but you can simply give the energy to the earth if it's bothering you that much. If you have a thought form or a servitor spirit that you are keeping in a figurine or a piece of jewelry, you can give the energy to that spirit and they can use it. You can have a spirit come and take that energy from you. If you have a trusted demon that you evoke, you can call upon them and have them take it from you. Some of them might, if they realize how new you are to this and how panicked you are, they may take that from you and use it for their own needs. If you are further along on this path, you're more experienced, but this is the first time you've ever done this chant, you try calling a spirit to you, I guarantee you they're going to tell you you're a big boy, you're a big girl, figure it out. You'll find something to do with it. You can do it. And if that's the case, you need to try to find some sort of spell. You can actually engage in sexual activity of some sort, and through orgasm, you can release that energy while thinking of a goal and turn it into a spell. And I have information about this on my Serpent's Key website about sex magic and how to do this. Very worst case scenario, if you have nothing else that you can do, you can turn this into a sigil spell by making a sigil for a goal that you have. Maybe something you've been trying to do for a while, but you've been lazy, you've been putting it off. Maybe you've been waiting for the right time. Maybe you need to go ahead and make that time now, because you've got all that energy and it needs to go somewhere, because if it stays inside of you, it could create blockages, and it could sit there and just build and build until you either feel extreme anxiety come on, or that energy is going to end up pooling up in certain areas of your body, trying to disperse itself evenly so it doesn't affect you as much. But if your chakras are blocked in any way, you haven't been trying to work on achieving Kundalini or anything along those lines, that could just cause further blockages. And that kind of stuff can actually cause stress and physical feelings of anxiety in your body. So you always need to make sure you have a backup plan, something to do with this energy if it comes on too intense and it gets out of control. So you can also turn that into a sigil. Make a sigil for a goal that you have, and then expel this energy out into the universe through visual immersion, which is a form of magic in and of itself, similar to the law of attraction, but not quite the same thing. Again, this chant was given to me by Azazel after I specifically asked for it. The chant itself is Nosferata Infernum Nigra. If you need the spelling for this is a language that is not my native language, and it's not any language that I was able to detect on Google. Other people have gotten similar chants and other things in a very similar language, and we've all come to the conclusion that it seems to be some sort of demonic language that's been around for much longer than we can even comprehend. It almost actually seems to be a mix of every single language on the earth put together. If you think about the way these words sound and how they're pronounced, it seems like someone literally sat there and created their own demonic language out of every single language there is. The spelling, it may not be exactly correct, but I did ask Azazel, did I spell this right? And he said, for the most part, yes. And also you need to realize that it does not matter how you spell it. As long as you pronounce it exactly how I told you to pronounce it, It doesn't matter if you've got every single word spelled wrong. So even if you don't like the way I've spelled it, you want to come up with your own version of the spelling, that's fine. Pronounce it the way that I pronounced it and you'll be fine. And of course, this is not to imply any racial slurs against anyone. That word literally is translated to black, and infernum obviously is referencing the flames. This is the inner black flame. That's what those words are for, awakening that inner black flame. You are telling it to come alive, to awaken. And one more time, the chant was Nosferata Infernum Nigra. If you would like a recording of me chanting this repeatedly that you can listen to, if you don't feel like you're ready to sit there and chant it, or maybe you're just too lazy, or you have a busy schedule, you don't have time to sit around chanting it yourself, you can find the MP3 version of me chanting this on a loop on my Serpent's Key website. Worst case scenario, download it to your iPod. Plug your iPod into the dock on your car. A lot of people have listened to me doing it, and they've actually said that they get even more powerful effects when they listen to me chanting it. But that's because when I do these chants, I always have a demonic entity sitting right next to me, influencing me while I am doing these chants. So a lot of this type of information that you're going to find from me is going to have demonic influence over top of it. And that can make the effects of these chants feel even stronger, because you're not only going to be feeling the energy in your own body being raised from this, but you might feel some of the influence from the demon itself that was helping me with the chant.